this movie, Benedict Cumberbatch might be a little overshadowed by the lead role of Johnny Depp. Benedict does a really great performance here nonetheless. He plays the brother of Whitey Bulger in the role of Billy, who is a politician that helps the leader of the Winter Hill Gang. Although it's never been proven that this politician actually helped him in the real story, the message in the movie is that we all stick together. When someone tries to take down his brother, Benedict is always there to stand up for him, and that really shines through in the movie. Of course he does that despite knowing about his criminal activities. Well, you can't really have a video on the best roles Benedict Cumberbatch has given without including this one. In the imitation game, you see him as the really smart mathematician Alan Turing that manages to break the Enigma code. His portrayal of him in this movie is also one I feel is very accurate. You really see his uncertainty coming through, how he is really smart and wants to do all the work himself, but just lacks the social skills to get people on his team. It's when that particular thing happens with a little female help that he finally achieves to break the Enigma. Another reason why I feel this is one of his stronger roles is due to the way he manages to also play this man who is also gay and is very revealing uncertainty about being different. You also see this quality in the power of the dog, and Benedict seems to have a strong ability to play a gay man and make it look believable. Although the character is very smart, you can really see what also holds him back from reaching his full potential. And even when he had broken the Enigma, that happiness only did last so long. Of course, in the end, he also looked really worse for wear, and that acting performance by the end of the movie, when he had fallen on hard times after being prescribed hormones, is actually what I feel is his best moment in a movie, because it looks so real and it's a very good act. Here again, in the movie The Power of the Dog from late last year, you see Benedict Cumberbatch in another great role as this character that you at least assume is gay, although it will be up to the eye that sees it. But the relationship that Phil and Peter develops in the movie, some might classify the character Benedict plays as a gay man. Anyways, any way you might see it, Cumberbatch is at the top of his game here. The character is a really annoying macho or psycho cowboy, if you want to call it that. The way he drives Rose to drink and intimidates the boy Peter is simply just a smooth piece of acting. I don't think anyone could make such a character come more alive than Benedict can. In an otherwise boring movie, he really outshines all the actors with a great performance that should have been awarded with an Oscar. Some might argue that he didn't do enough to achieve the Oscar for what he did in this movie, but I have never seen a psycho cowboy done better, so I will have to disagree there. Some of you might not know that Benedict Cumberbatch has played Julian Assange. For those of you that might not know this man, he was the founder of WikiLeaks and the head of this website that exposed secrets that governments around the world didn't want to be revealed. Anyways, Benedict does a solid performance here as Assange, and you can really see his arrogance and hate for the world in the character. The way he also nails that Australian accent is also extremely accurate. That's why I will have this one down as one of the best Benedict Cumberbatch roles. I'm sure some of you might have seen interviews or statements given by Julian Assange, and here he also delivers them very correctly, and you can really see very much of the same tone he uses when he talks. That's also why I think if you are interested in learning more about the history of Julian Assange, you should really see this movie. And a plus is of course that Benedict manages to portray him in a way that it would be almost impossible to do better. Some of you might not be too pleased that I left out the first Doctor Strange movie, but I actually think Benedict does much more as Doctor Strange in this movie, and you really see how the character has developed. That's why I favor this version of Doctor Strange more than in the first movie, because here in the multiverse of madness, which is a title for the second movie, you really see him in a more secure element, where he manages to control his feelings and abilities much more. You know, in the first movie, he had all this training, and you didn't really see what Doctor Strange was capable of. But here, it really comes full circle. Benedict also tries to spin on some comic lines, which also works in this movie. And I really like when you see him meeting other versions of himself as Doctor Strange in the movie. I also just believe that the acting is better, but of course, it is easier when you are in a movie that is less boring. Nonetheless, Cumberbatch really shines through in a movie that also features a really good performance from Elizabeth Olsen. Despite that, Doctor Strange might just be the coolest character in the Marvel Universe, and I think that never could have been done by no other than the great Benedict Cumberbatch.